everybody. So a while ago I said I was going to do a video of my background of trying to conceive, my infertility, my miscarriages and all that. I'm finally getting around to it. I am cooking dinner, so I'm gonna try to make this fast. So it really all began in 2009 when I was 16, almost 17 years old. I got pregnant in September of 2009. I found out October 15th, 2009 that I was pregnant. And that was really just a couple weeks away from my 17th birthday. So my blood work, they do blood work initially for your HCG. It just tells them what levels you're at and how far along you could be. For starting off, my levels were in the 400s, which was normal. I was around 4 weeks when I found out. I hadn't yet missed a period. I was literally 1 day away from my period starting when I found out. Then they redid my levels every 24 to 48 hours for about a week, and my levels just were not going up like they should have been. And I got the phone call one night at home that I should prepare myself for a miscarriage because my levels were not going up as fast as they wanted them to. I am not afraid to admit that I had no idea what a miscarriage was at that age. I really didn't understand it. I was just shy of 17, so I had no idea what I was about to go through. And then I had an ultrasound at 6 weeks, 4 days, and there was only a sac. There was no heartbeat, there was no fetal pull, no nothing, just an empty sac. And that's really what confirmed that I was going to lose the baby. 7 weeks and 4 or 5 days, between 7 weeks and 3 and 5 days, I miscarried on my own. I did go to the hospital because I was bleeding so bad and I was in so much pain that it was the worst pain I'd ever felt in my life. So that was my first miscarriage. Again, I was just turned 17 when the miscarriage actually happened. I miscarried November, I'm looking at my tattoo because I can't remember. November 8th. I'm sorry, usually I know, but sometimes it escapes my mind because I've had so many. So November 8th, 2009, I miscarried my first child at 17. So then I got with my daughter's father about a month later. And then I got pregnant again. It was June of 2012 is when I got pregnant the second time. I found out, when did I find out? I found out sometime in July. This time my levels were amazing. My HCG was doing great. It was going up like it should. And they didn't want to schedule me for an ultrasound until I was 8 weeks. Well, when you're a woman, sometimes you just know something's not right. I called them when I was 8 weeks pregnant and I said, hey, I really just want to have an ultrasound done. Scratch that. They weren't going to do an ultrasound till way later. They were going to have me come in for a heartbeat check at 11 weeks with the Doppler. So they weren't even going to give me an ultrasound yet. So I called and I said, hey, I really just would feel better with, already having miscarriage. I really want to have an ultrasound done just to, put my mind at ease. Well, I go in. I was 9 weeks when I went in. And again, there was only a sac. There was no baby, there was no heartbeat. They said I was measuring 6 weeks when I should have been 9. So really that kind of just, okay, I already knew what was going to happen. They told me to come in a week later when I was 10 weeks. I came in at 10 weeks and the sac was almost gone. I mean, there was like nothing there. but my body wasn't miscarrying on its own. So I was given a choice to either take a pill to induce my miscarriage, or I could have a surgery called a DNC to have the contents of the baby removed from my uterus, and just to make sure there was nothing left that could cause infection or anything like that. So I went in on July 20th, 2012, and I had a DNC. After my first miscarriage, I did not want to miscarry on my own if it was possible. I had a lot of fears going into this surgery because to me, having this surgery, I was like, well, what if the baby does survive? Like, what if they're wrong? Like, I'm killing my baby. And that just wasn't the case. I know that now, but I did have a lot of fears. The thing about this surgery though, 2 weeks after my surgery, I got pregnant with Emmy, and I did not know that was possible. So in September of 2012, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and test. I just want to make sure everything's back to normal because I hadn't had a cycle yet. And at the beginning of September, I got a positive pregnancy test, and I was like, okay, well, this is weird. Like, maybe it's left over from the miscarriage. So the next business day, I can't remember if I found out on a weekend or not, I called my doctor's office and said, hey, got a positive pregnancy test. Can we do blood work? Well, it turns out that was Emmy. She was my fighter, my miracle. Don't know how it happened. I mean, obviously, we know how it happens. But she is basically the baby that wasn't meant to be. She is a true miracle. My body proves that every freaking day that she's a miracle. So after I had her dad deployed for 9 months to Afghanistan. And so I couldn't really try to have a baby because my husband was gone. So that would have been really frowned upon. So when he got back, we started trying again right away. And I was kind of concerned, but not super concerned, because he got back in March of 2014 and we started trying again right away. And it really wasn't that long until I got pregnant again. Well, I had missed a period, I'm gonna say I missed all of May. And at the time, we lived in Louisiana. We lived on a military post. And I'm sorry if people have had nothing but, you know, good things with military doctors. I did not. They didn't even want to do blood work until I was 3 weeks late for my period. Well, I knew I was pregnant. I was getting tons of faint positive tests, like nothing like super like in your face, hey, like I'm pregnant, but I just knew, I had a feeling that I was. So I finally called them enough times that they went ahead and did blood work. And by the time they had did the blood work, my HCG level was 6. My body was already in the process of miscarrying. I just hadn't started to bleed yet, but I already knew, like, my body was already miscarrying prior. Like, it had been happening for a while. So that was my 3rd miscarriage. Sorry, I'm trying to cook. So that was my 3rd. And then me and Emmy's dad split up shortly after. So from June 2014 is when I miscarried. So from June 2014 up until 2016, I wasn't trying to have a baby anymore, because obviously we had split up. Just a second. We had split up, so I mean, I had nobody to try it with. Well, and then I met Bradley, in October of 2015, and we got together. We moved pretty fast, I'm not gonna lie to you. In December of 2015, I had a positive pregnancy test, and we were being careful. So I was kind of freaking out. I was like, I don't understand how this happened. So I went to the doctor, and my blood work was negative. I was like, okay, so something's going on. At this point in time, Dr. Copeland had already diagnosed me with endometriosis and without doing surgery to confirm it. So I already thought I had that going on. And he thought, based off of progesterone levels, I was not ovulating on my own. And when I spoke to him about, when my blood work came back negative, I went into the office and he goes, with all the problems you're having, because I was already having other problems, he goes, you need to start trying to have a baby or you're not going to be able to have one. So me and Brad had only been together for about 3 months at this point, and I remember Brad and my sister went with me to that appointment, and they sat out in the waiting room waiting for me, and I was just like, it's not something I wanted to hear, and I let them know, like, it's up to you. If you want to try, we can try. If not, then we can wait. Like, I'm not going to force you into it because we've only been together for 3 months. He agreed, so we started trying in December of 2016 to get pregnant. For a couple months, I think by April or March, I went back to the doctor. I was like, it's just not happening, but I'm getting, false positives, like what's going on? So they put me on Clomid. We did 2.5 rounds of Clomid, I believe, and I got pregnant in May. No, I got pregnant in June 2nd. I found out July 6th. I was technically a few days late, but my periods at that time had always been a little off and sometimes late, so I thought I was fine. Well, I got a very, very, very faint positive pregnancy test, and I thought I was nuts. Like, said, no, like, that's not really positive. Well, I had blood work done, and it turned out I was pregnant. My HCG was only 18, which was very, very low when you're 4 weeks pregnant. It was super, super low. And so we kind of figured we were going to have issues with this pregnancy just right from the start. Well, long story short, one of the last ultrasounds we had, it showed that we might have been having twins. However, there were no heartbeats. I miscarried between 8 and 10 weeks. I had another D&C because, again, my body wasn't wanting to get rid of the babies. I did start bleeding a week before my miscarriage, my D&C though, but he wanted to go ahead and do the D&C just to get everything out. So that was my 4th miscarriage, and that was in 2016. And then from there, it's really just been an uphill struggle. I finally had surgery to confirm that I did not have endometriosis like Dr. Copeland told me I did. Basically all my blood work was coming back fine. There was like no known cause for my miscarriages and no known cause, just in general for me to not be able to get pregnant and stay pregnant. My OBGYN at the time felt like she could no longer help me, so she referred me off to a specialist, and that's when I started seeing Dr. Carnevale in September of 2017. We had more blood work done. He had an analysis done. We had all kinds of testing genetic testing, immune deficiency testing, just you name it, we had it. So everything came back good. I did have one more surgery. It was a hysteroscopy polypectomy. During a saline ultrasound, he saw what he thought was a polyp inside my uterus. Turns out it was really just scar tissue. So he had that removed in January of 2018. So it's been a little over a year now. We did 2 IUIs, neither one of which worked. So we decided in March of 2018, we were done trying for a while. We wanted to take a break. So we did. And then December 23rd, I had 2 positive pregnancy tests. So we were expecting again. So from 2016 to the end of 2018, it took quite a bit of time to get pregnant. Well, December 24th, I woke up and I started bleeding. So I knew I was miscarrying again. And that brings us to now. We're at a standstill, really, until we can afford IVF. Basically, we just have to try the old natural way for now because we don't have $15,000 to throw at it right now. And in order to get approved for financing, our credit has to be a little bit better. So we're going to be working on that this year. But that's basically my history. It's been 9 years and 3 months that I've been going through all of this. And I know it's me. I'm the issue because I've had 3 different baby daddies. But it is what it is. Maybe one day I'll have more answers. Right now, we're still on the fence about PCOS. We're still not really sure. I've not had my levels rechecked. I'm probably going to see about doing that this week for the blood work she did in January, just to see where we're at. But I just wanted to give you guys a video of my history in case you forgot or didn't really read any posts on Facebook about it when it was posted. This video is pretty long, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. And I will be uploading some more videos in the next 5 days of me doing live pregnancy tests to kind of document my process and the emotions I go through every time I see a negative test. And who knows, maybe in 5 days I'll have a positive one. So just stay tuned for that and I'll have more videos.